Can you describe its form?
No.
So we're back, supposedly. Maybe back. I don't know. We're recording this. Will it go up? Will I edit it? Will it get done?
Of course it will.
Yeah, sure. At some point, it is going to get done. So I'm not sure when this is going to go up, but hopefully soon. We're recording this on February 28th. It is Schulzey at the Movies with Ryan Schultz and
Eric Trigg.
And we are here to discuss Annihilation.
Annihilation.
Can you describe its form?
Very good. It needed that, perhaps maybe a little more in the trailer. If I will start off by saying, if you're wondering what this movie is about, don't watch the trailer. If you are a sci-fi fan, if you're into science fiction and you like kind of your darker science fiction, if you liked the director and writer's previous effort, Ex Machina, then just go see it without anything that we say or without any.
You can say that about most trailers, though. I've pretty much given up watching trailers.
Yes. Oh God. I am now when I go with my family to the movies. Hey, you all go in. I get them situated, and I go out, and then I'll go to the bathroom, or I'll go get them something from concession or whatever. I do not need to see the trailers, and I used to live for trailers, but.
They give everything away now.
Yeah, I've said it for years that if a trailer came out for Empire Strikes Back today, they would flat out tell you, spoiler, that Darth Vader is Luke's father. But back to a different sci-fi, although that's not really science fiction, it's science fantasy, cowboys in space, whatever you want to call it. Annihilation is sci-fi. And it is true science fiction. It is a real science fiction fan's science fiction film.
Yes, based on a real science fiction fan's novel.
And I have not read the. Have you read the novel?
No, I probably should if they're going to make. It's a beginning of a trilogy. If they makes 2 more movies, then I'm going to read them.
And that's hopefully that will happen. I'm not sure if it will happen based on the reception so far at the box office has not been awesome, but that doesn't mean that it can't. Develop a bit of a cult following.
Yeah, they did it with 50 Shades. That movie tanked.
There's 3 of those. How are there 3 of those?
Because there were 3 books. That's the only
Who cares?
That's the only point I'm making. There were 3 books, just like there are 3 books in this trilogy. So
never mind. I don't understand.
This movie, Annihilation, is beautiful. I loved the cinematography, the colors, everything was great. It was beautiful to look at. Please watch it in theaters if you're going to watch it.
Well, that brings about an interesting discussion. You say that I mean, most movies, I love my home theater setup. I enjoy my TV isn't high end. It is large, and I do have a fairly good sound system, and I enjoy most movies at home about equally as I do in the theater. There are a few films, seeing Star Wars in the theater, and I took my wife went and saw Star Wars. We all took all of us, and that was their first Star Wars experience in a theater, both my wife and my children. And that made a huge difference for them. I mean, they've enjoyed the movies at home, but seeing it on a big screen and whatever, that really does have an impact.
I've seen all of them on the big screen.
I may not have seen Empire.
They re-released them in the 90s. I'm sure you saw it.
Okay, yes, that's true. I did definitely see Empire in the theater. I've seen A New Hope in the theater, the original, when I was like 4 in the drive-in.
Really?
Yeah. Remember the TIE Fighters. It was the most impactful cinema-going experience of my life. That and Jurassic Park 1993, just because difference in sound. Annihilation. So, Annihilation.
I thought it was beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yes.
My only question, and again, I will reiterate that if you are interested in this film, we're not going to go deep into spoilers or anything like that, but don't watch a trailer. Don't listen to what we have to say. Go see the movie. I mean, it's an interesting sci-fi movie. If you're a science fiction fan, then you should go see it. If you're not, if you're on the fence, then continue to listen. And I may not necessarily recommend it for you.
We'll help you make your decision.
Right. But So I will say the shimmer was the one thing that I kind of questioned about the beauty of the world, but because it looked kind of fake or not
Well, how do you
realistic.
make a penetrable force
Right.
field?
Once they passed through it, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like it made sense. From a distance in the, when they were showing establishing shots, didn't really do it for me. But once they kind of walk through it, then you're good to go.
The way the world was inside the shimmer, it gets increasingly more and more
Bizarre,
well
adjusted,
and
unique.
It tells you why it gets that way later on, which makes perfect sense for me.
Right.
I liked it. I liked that whole idea. We're not going to say what it is.
Well,
The prism thing.
yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, that is a good point. But yeah, they do explain that. It is interesting. It's the movie is interesting. I think one of the things I look for with sci-fi is you go into it and establish your rules, establish your world, and then kind of stick to them. Establish a premise, a point, and work within that premise and point. And they do. They stick with it. They establish an idea and a hint of an idea, and they develop it as they go, and they give you more information. They don't answer all your questions in a good way. Well,
I read that some people they didn't know how it ended. I know exactly how it ended.
Yeah, no, it's well. I told you the ending reminds me because I had just finally watched Dirk Diggler in the porn movie. What was Boogie Nights?
Yeah.
I just watched that, and because the way that film ends is a kind of it is a well, I don't want to spoil anything. Not for Boogie Nights, but for Annihilation. We'll just say that if you know kind of the way, once you see Annihilation, if you've seen Boogie Nights, then you'll understand the correlation between the endings, in my opinion. But it is an interesting movie, and it's not that I don't think that they didn't tie up loose ends or anything like that. What I mean is, as a writer-director, Alex Garland handles the story with honoring his audience. He doesn't handhold. He doesn't talk down to you.
Yeah.
He doesn't. What was it? Well, we saw Bright. When we watched Bright, the frustrating part about Bright was people providing exposition and character development just in these long-winded monologues that, okay, this is information we need, but this isn't
Your
necessarily...
audience already knows that 2 + 2 = 4.
Right. You don't need to walk us through everything,
Yeah.
and he doesn't walk you through everything. And he also has little hints at interesting character development. There's some stuff about her character that...
Through flashbacks, there's some...
Right. That is interesting, not really fleshed out. And I'm kind of okay. It can be a little frustrating because you maybe want more of that, but he's just giving different facets to the character. He's helping you get to know the character and to maybe understand her a little bit more.
They have great chemistry together. I could watch a movie just the two of them.
Oscar Isaac and
Queen Amidala and... what's his character?
Oh, his Finn.
Finn. No,
Not Finn. Why is I
said
always
that
want to say
last time.
Poe Dameron?
Poe.
Yes.
Yeah, Queen and Poe. They have really good chemistry
No,
together.
they do very good together. They really do have great chemistry, and he's so good. Oscar Isaac is such a excellent actor, and Natalie Portman also. I mean, she's obviously awesome. Has been represented at this point in her career. She has established that she's a very good actress. And a few Academy Award nominations. Did she win for Black Swan?
Oh no, I never saw Black Swan.
Neither did I. Anyhow, she is good. I've liked her in almost every movie she's ever been in.
Professional.
Yes. Now, see the European version of that. Definitely. It's a better movie.
It is.
They think that the American audiences can't handle. They have a 9-year-old girl
13, but yeah.
It was 13. Okay, in bed with an adult male,
yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, American audience can't because this is sexual." And if you see the movie, there is nothing. He's as much a child as she is.
Oh, for sure.
More so.
It's established that he's not as smart or as emotionally evolved as
Right. She's the one kind of leading him in a lot of things, and he's helping protect her. And it's a fascinating movie, and the European version is better. But there's only one version of this movie, at least as far as we know. Now, that does give an interesting idea between the European and the American version. The American version is being broadcast here in over 2,500 theaters. I mean, it's here. It had a fairly wide release.
Yeah.
Not your summer blockbuster 4,000 screen release, but 2,500 screens means that you can see Annihilation somewhere near you. And you should probably see it this week, though. Because
that's right, 'cause it's going to be gone.
It may not make it past this weekend. I haven't looked to see what's coming out, but it's...
But internationally, the rest of the world sees it on Netflix.
Yes, which now you're upset about because... Well, not
I'm upset.
You think people should see it in the theater.
Yeah.
I think you should see it on a good screen with good sound. And if you have that at home...
If you have a 70-foot TV, yeah.
My TV's not 70 foot.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying movie theater.
I think...
I thought the shots with the nature shots inside the
Yes.
forest were fantastic.
It is a beautiful movie.
And I don't think the scene with the bear works on a small screen.
I don't know what bear you're talking about. No, it's... Yeah, no, I'm
not giving anything away.
No, I know.
It's in
I
a damn
agree.
trailer.
I agree. It is. I agree, and I understand your point. I still just for most movies they just don't. It just doesn't do it necessarily for me to be at the theater anymore. It's just I'm not
You have peripheral problems though too in that aspect. Not problems, but peripheral.
I have stuff going on in my life. Yes. Little children. It does seem to overrun my. Takes control, and getting away for several hours to go sit in the theater when I could, and see a film at a time which they have deemed acceptable to show the film. It doesn't always work out for me, and I could watch it here in my office in surround sound with decent screen, or I could go out into the living room and watch it in better surround.
Your living room is better surround than here?
Yes.
Oh, you have ceilings in the...
Yes, no, there are
speakers in the ceiling out there?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, no, the expensive speakers, these are cheap speakers.
My TV has one speaker.
It doesn't have... It.
Does it have any speaker? It has a speaker, right? One speaker.
Oh, you don't have a sound bar? No, you just have your TV speakers. It has your TV has two speakers in it, and
awesome.
They both point down or backwards. Down. Both of your speakers point down towards the floor, so that they still can have speakers and the TV be thin. That is why you need a sound bar with a modern TV. Most modern TVs.
What?
To have good sound. But
I hear everything just fine.
That's wonderful for you. Some people care about sound. Some people, they're fine with TV sound, and yet they tell you to go to the movie theater. Anyhow,
for the visual, I had to wear earplugs for this movie.
Oh, really?
It was so loud.
Oh, no, it wasn't that bad. But then again, I was playing. I've got a new VR headset. I'm playing VR. My VR games, and then let my wife try it on, and she put it on, and I hit play, and she about screamed and yanked the earbuds out of her ears. She's like, "Oh my God, it's so loud." Like, this is what happens when you work in radio for 15 years, wearing headphones all the time, consistently being a DJ, talking over the music or in the music. You have to turn it up really loud, and old DJs are very hard of hearing. I'm not there yet, but if I had continued working in radio, specifically music and DJ, that would have been rough. Anyways.
But that's from being in the military.
Yeah, yes. Gunshots near your head, all the combat you saw. So, but speaking of that, okay, let's normally I have a big judgment about military women in the military and the way they're represented in film or TV. And I have a problem when a police officer or a military officer.
What kind of
It's that these women are Hollywood actresses, typically very slight, small, low body weight, no shoulders, no strength shown in their physique at all, and yet they are capable of taking down big men. They are supposed to be these combat hardened veterans. And I've been around some now here in San Diego. It's more Marines, but I've been around Marine women that are Marines, and these are not women that have small shoulders. These are not slight.
All right. You have a problem with...
I generally don't like the way women are represented in these films.
What about this movie?
She's very slight.
She is.
And yet I believed her. When she fires the gun, that first time she drops down, I'm like, and they show a clip of that in the trailer. And I'm like, I believe that.
I'll tell you what.
She looks right. She looks like she's doing it right.
Most times that you see a female in combat in film, they make mention, either verbally or some kind of cue, that is female. Mm-hmm. There's no... I didn't think once, oh wow, woman in combat. I didn't think of that once. It was just natural.
Now
it's fantastic.
Her character, her character is one of those supreme characters. They're good at everything kind of thing. She's a doctor and a battle hardened military
combat veteran,
Army vet, and she brings that to the role. You believe it. And even in the combat situations, there wasn't me, who is highly judgmental of that. I bought the slight little Natalie Portman as a combat veteran, as knowing her way around a firearm.
Because she did.
Yeah, she looked completely believable in her role. So, but if you had to sum it up, I mean, of whether people should see it, should not see it, did you love it? Did you like it?
I want to say yes, but the caveat of if you like science fiction movies has to be put in there. I love science fiction movies.
Yeah.
So maybe my bias is skewed a bit, but I really like the movie. There's a couple of plot holes I didn't like, but...
Yes. Yeah, you did have the vehicle plot hole was an interesting... I didn't catch that. He catches plot holes.
The first one that really got me was there is an asteroid coming to Earth, and if it's large enough to pierce our atmosphere and not burn up and actually hit the ground, it's going to leave a crater. And it didn't. And that bothered me that it didn't leave a crater.
Maybe it left
it did not leave a crater.
A crater the size of
it left a hole. Now I understand.
And the building remained standing, the small building.
Yeah, which is shown in the trailer. So
right.
If you see the trailer, you know what I'm talking about.
But it's that is a good
bit.
Yeah. There are.
There's no reason why they didn't take a vehicle into the
shimmer, into this area that they're exploring.
Yeah, they walk in, and it takes days to get to their destination. Why not just drive in?
Yeah. Because it's not as interesting. Why don't romantic comedy characters just talk to each other?
Yeah, drive in, and then the
if
moment
they talk to each other, there wouldn't be a movie.
The moment they drive in, have a problem with the vehicle. They did have a problem the moment they walked in.
Yeah.
They could have had that same problem. I don't know. Where did our vehicles go?
Like the line from "Thank You for Smoking," it's where they just have the throwaway line of "How do we have cigarettes in space?" We'll just say we invented, that thing that just so and so that just resolves that. That's what you just write that into the script that says
there's a whole movie called Ex Machina.
Yeah, there you go. So it is. I would agree that it is worth seeing if you are a sci-fi fan. If you're not a sci-fi fan, then you're not going to like this, most likely. It is pure science fiction.
But it's got great directing, great writing, wonderful acting, and it's beautiful. Why can't I recommend it? Why can't you recommend it?
Just
Tell me why.
Because I think it doesn't hold your hand.
Yeah.
It isn't
I see what you're saying.
action. Or there is action in the film, but
It's not an
early
action movie.
yeah, early promotion of it kind of centered on, at least that I saw, said that this was a horror film, the sci-fi horror.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not horror.
There's one scene that might be scary.
Yeah,
but
there is some stuff that is disgusting, I guess. Visually, at least
disgusting.
Well, okay, you've seen a whole lot more internal organs and whatever. Yeah,
that part.
that was that turned the stomachs of the characters, I think, more than it did the audiences. But they didn't make it, But it is. In the theater that I saw it in, which wasn't packed, shockingly, but everybody who was in there was quiet. There wasn't any cheering at any point. There's no point of people going, yes. It is an interesting movie that doesn't have a big ending of, everything's great and perfect and wonderful. It doesn't. This is, I don't know if you mentioned on camera that you were saying earlier, the studio early tests of this film were not good. They didn't, audiences didn't necessarily love it. And the studio was really afraid that they were going to lose money.
They wanted to do rewrites.
And this is Paramount, who's taken a bath over the last year and a half on every. I could have told you half their movies were going to bomb.
The industry has been taking a bath,
but Paramount has really. They haven't had a movie the movies that made money are very, very small, and it was they had one superhero movie last year that made money, but it was still way below what they were expecting, and has kind of kept them somewhat afloat. I guess.
Movie?
Huh? I forget which. Maybe
awesome.
It's big. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not really follow the studios.
Yeah, it's so Paramount said they're struggling. They pushed and they said make some cuts. The director and the executive producer said nope. We have final cut and we are not changing the movie. And what did she say? What did they want to change?
What I read, and just a real quick cursory skim of one article, was that the main character was too cerebral. That some people wouldn't understand what was going on.
And that's, I can kind of understand that.
She's a biologist, a doctor in biology, and she has a combat history.
Yeah.
She's a combat veteran.
Yeah. So
I'm not
bothered by it, but we go into it knowing that. We go into it being okay with that.
Yeah, you're introduced to her as a biologist.
But if you're going and looking for your jump scares and gory horror, or even the intensity of a thriller like Get Out, it does not have that. That's not what this movie is. This is science fiction that it is sci-fi thriller, but it's not.
Yeah, it's much slower pace than the trailer would have you believe.
Yes, it is about character. It is. It's not a big budget effects driven film.
Oh, come on, that final scene.
Well, there is plenty of effects in it, but it's still, when you look at the budget, it's still Bright cost double what this movie did to make. And that's straight to Netflix. Yeah. And so this is the interesting. So early screening was not good for the movie. So Paramount, in a move to make sure that they don't lose money, they sold the rights, the international rights, to Netflix.
Yep.
And people are upset about it, but that's what happened to Cloverfield. The new Cloverfield that went straight to Netflix.
The third one, yeah.
Yeah, they made the movie, and the studio realized, we're not going to make any money on this. This is going to be a bomb. It cost us $40 million to make.
Is that Paramount?
It might have been. It cost us $40 million to make. We're going to have to market the hell out of it, another $20 to $30 million. And there's no way we're going to make that back in this little science fiction thriller.
I didn't see it. I saw the first two in theaters, but I didn't see the third one.
I haven't yet, but I'm going to watch
in theaters?
No, I didn't. No, that's true. I did not watch either Cloverfield in the theater. I love both well, I loved the first movie and just kind of, I liked the way they did that. And
I like the second one a lot.
The second one is very good, and John Goodman is so good and so frightening, and it's
frightening.
He's frightening. You understand why.
Understated word.
Yeah, but you understand. It's if you haven't seen Cloverfield Lane, 10 Cloverfield Lane, you should see that as a science fiction film. Like Cloverfield 1 is,
but that's more of a thriller than science fiction.
Yeah,
Cloverfield science 1, fiction subplot.
Right. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, it's science fiction, but it's a sci-fi thriller. It is a psychological thriller.
Yeah, it's two people locked in.
Three people.
Well, yeah, okay.
Three people locked in
a room.
In the basement, and then are you down there because you're captive, or is he protecting you? And is he protecting himself, or is he keeping you captive? There's just all these questions, and you don't, as an audience member, you don't know.
No,
they don't know. I really enjoy it.
Is it a sequel? I don't know. Am I supposed to be expecting something because it has the same word? And
right.
Is the first one.
And so I want to see the third, but that's what happened with the new Cloverfield was they weren't going to make any money on it, and so they sold Netflix the rights, worldwide rights, I guess, to it for $40 million. Like here's the budget for a movie, you pay the budget, done deal.
If you make money off it, good on you.
We're not going to lose any money on this. So. And people are upset about that. There's some people that are like, this belongs in the theater, these movies. Times are changing.
Yes, they are.
And, people we are sci-fi fans, and we didn't go see Cloverfield or 10 Cloverfield Lane in studio.
I saw 10 Cloverfield Lane in the theater, but I didn't see the new one.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Well, did you see Ex Machina in the theater?
Yes. Oh, no, I didn't.
His previous film, which was, I personally think Ex Machina is a better movie than this. It may not, more engaging. I enjoyed the movie more, but this is perhaps a more well-made movie. I mean, it's definitely bigger budget, but I like Ex Machina.
I like this one better than Ex Machina. I like this one better.
I can understand that, but
yeah. It might come down to the acting for me.
Oscar Isaac is good in both.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing wrong with the acting in Ex Machina, but
right. Yeah, this is good. I will here's the judgment for me. The difference is I watched Ex Machina with my wife, and it's not her type of movie, but she enjoyed it.
Oh,
I would not. She wouldn't watch it again because like dark thrillers and stuff like that. Yeah, aren't her thing.
I love the ending.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. But I would not take her to see this movie. I would not suggest for her to watch this movie.
Annihilation?
Yeah, it's not. She's not going to like. There's a few jump scares, and
it's not a date movie unless your date really likes sci-fi.
And there's some, it's just some more intense moments but then again, we started watching, I've shockingly have never seen The Arrival, and I started watching it the other night.
I saw that twice in theaters.
And she woke up. We started watching some, some inane sitcom because my wife was really tired, so we started watching that, and then she nodded off. So I stopped that and. Without, I love streaming, the fact that I can just go, okay, I don't have to go change a DVD or anything. I just go ahead and flip over and start watching The Arrival. So I start watching that, but she wakes up and she was really into it. So now, like, we haven't really gotten into it. We just got to the spaceship, but she's into that because of the character. So she might be into this because it is character driven. So maybe she gives it a shot.
And it's beautiful. See it in theaters.
Yeah. And especially if you have Movie Pass, because then, hey, movie guarantee.
There's one thing I'm finding out I don't like about Movie Pass.
One movie a day?
I would really like to see this movie in 3D. I might actually pay to see it in 3D.
Oh. Yeah, in general, 3D doesn't do anything for me. I will say
Because you had LASIX.
Doctor Strange. I saw that in 3D, and I will say that movie in 3D in the theater was amazing.
Is that why I didn't like Doctor Strange?
It could be. I
saw it on my own TV at home, and I did it all day long.
I stopped watching. Yeah, I tried to watch it again. I'm like, I really enjoyed this in the theater, so I started watching it again on Netflix. I'm like, yeah, I just don't care. But I'm pretty much over superhero movies. I'm done. But
I feel like I watch them because I have to.
Yeah. Well, that's.
I've already watched the first 8, so I might as well watch the next one.
At some point, they're going to release, I don't know, a 30 movie catalog where you can, for $200 or something, buy all the Marvel movies, and I'll probably buy that. Probably, maybe, I don't know, 30 movies, $200.
I don't even have a DVD player.
Nah, that's too much. It's $100. You give me 30 Marvel movies for $100.
That's about what it's worth. $3 a movie.
Yeah, it's because there's
I'm
a few.
a DC guy.
Oh, yes.
Nothing wrong with the Marvel movies.
Yeah, I'd spend $100 on 5 Batman movies or 6. Well,
I don't count the British Batman movies.
Which British Batman movies?
The one that was Batman was played by a British dude.
Oh,
Sorry.
You don't like that?
He's 5'9" and British.
But it's the best of the
If
Batman.
the Millennium Falcon was a 747, would you watch it? It doesn't make sense.
You don't like you don't. I don't.
Liam Neeson was great, but
I don't even. I've got no words.
Yeah.
I
loved him in Mechanic and pretty much anything else he's done. But can't give me a Batman who's under 6 feet tall and British.
I just
would you have a short American play James Bond?
I don't. Anyhow, I guess we got a lot to work out here. Which is why we're either going to go watch a superhero movie in the theater next, or watch a superhero movie at home here next in just a few minutes. So Annihilation, if you're internationally, you'll get to see it on Netflix, I'm guessing, sometime soon. And if you're seeing it here in the U.S., probably by the time this is up, it's already out of the theater. Unless I get it up before the end of the weekend, before the weekend gets here, maybe you have a chance to still see it.
If you follow us and you know what kind of movies I like, and you like the same kind of movies, watch this one.
You already saw it then. Anyhow, so Annihilation, good sci-fi, interesting sci-fi, not sci-fi for everyone, but unless they're sci-fi fans. But for me, you're a little bit bigger on it, but it's a good movie. It's a good movie. If you're a sci-fi fan, you will enjoy the movie. You may not leave with a giant smile on your face, but I do. So, Schulzey at the Movies. This is Ryan Schultz.
Eric Trigg.
And, hey, stay safe. Have a great night, great day, whatever you're doing. Enjoy yourself. Be a blessing to everybody around you. Thanks for watching.